got a new video. I got a new video. Alesia in the show. Hey girl. I'm ready to go. How you feeling? You're a Vision fan. Yeah. Are you ready for the show? We gotta keep it real. We gotta keep it real. Let's go.
My goodness, hey, if you have never been in my channel before, welcome. If you love the Eurovision Song Contest, this is your opportunity to like this video and to subscribe. So I am here in Europe. I was in the press room earlier, saw the earlier dress rehearsal, which I will say, you know, I was tweeting some things and I will say watching this run of it felt a little bit more polished than what I saw earlier. Definitely some of the singers were preserving their vocals. They were kind of holding back. I think there were some people who were even kind of like having a little bit of fun with the fact that this was like a rehearsal and that they didn't have to like completely go full out. But seeing the show tonight did shift a couple of things and made me feel better about some of the things that I think when I was watching that initial rehearsal, I was like, what's going on? But hey, I am so excited to break down all of the stuff that I saw in the show. And I will just say, overall, I do feel like this is like a really smooth production for the most part. This is a pretty smooth production. And I also want to just note to folks so that no one is confused that yes, we are live. So if you have not already taken the opportunity to like this video and to subscribe, you might be watching this on the replay and it's like, you could have been here live. You could have been here live, but it's a little bit late in Europe. So I don't want to hold up for the folks who are watching, but hello folks. Alesia, take care of your throat. Basically I was up really late and I was talking a lot. Once I go to bed, I will be fine. I will be fine. Philip, thank you for your continued hard work. Your reaction and comments are the ones I look forward to the most. So UK, well, we're going to get into it. Okay. Felix says, everyone, a Balkan win is really coming into perspective. Croatia. Thank you. Yeah, so we're going to do this. We're going to talk. We're going to talk. And we're going to break things down. So, what's the first thing that I'm going to do? First of all, I think I'm in the mood for a little bit of bed music. Can we have a little bit of bed music for the people in the back? All right. Okay. So we're going to break this down. One, I will just say you are in for a show. We are opening up with Eleni Fouera. We're going to hear Fuego. Then Rehearsal that comes in with popular Chanel, Slow-Mo. I would say the standout of our three sort of returnee performers is absolutely Chanel. I think that it's kind of interesting to see her performing in this way because there's something about it when you watch it and it's just like, don't you kind of wish that would have won? There's something about watching back the performance and then every time I feel like that I've seen Chanel since then, I'm like, oh my God, like, I just wish that we could be talking about Chanel as a Eurovision winner, but alas, here we all. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. I will also say Malin and Petra, and I did tweet this, so I'm just going to note it here. You know, can we just like stop? Can we stop having people who are like actors as like Eurovision presenters? I think we tried it a couple of times, and I just think at this point, like, being a presenter is an art form, and especially with a show like Eurovision where it can go long, you kind of need to keep up the pacing. Also, it's live television, so you got to kind of be able to like roll with the punches. And I just think, you know, Petra's so good, and it's difficult to have someone standing next to her because even if you are a good presenter, it's like Petra could still kind of outshine you a little bit. And so then if you're kind of like shaky or maybe you're not like the most seasoned presenter, it's going to almost make you look worse. You know what I mean? Because she's just going to look so good. But I will say, talking about looking good, I do like the styling. We've got Petra is in orange, right? Pink. Malin is in pink. Petra is in orange. I really like it. The suits, the styling is good. Everyone looked really pretty. I will say, when I did see Petra go up on the stage, like, I actually got like a little bit of, I was like, oh my gosh, I could like kind of cry because y'all know I was here long in the streets saying, if we're going back to Sweden, we need Petra. And so we have Petra. What are y'all talking about? Okay. Petar says Petra is great. We all know that. I don't know which idea was to put the actor next to Petra. I just think we didn't need it. We didn't need it. And we really could have just had Petra doing it. And then Frederick, Hannah last year hosts as an actress. I know who Hannah Waddingham is. Here's the thing. Hannah really comes from like deep musical theater. So that's a little bit different. And we also have to remind ourselves that there are things called the exception, not the rule. Not the rule. So, yeah. So exceptions are always there, but I just think like we've done it. It mostly doesn't work. And also I wasn't nervous about Hannah because of the theater of it all. Again, when you do theater, it's live, it's a little bit more like that. But I think if you're just primarily an actor who hasn't had like deep theater experience, and I would even say if you're someone who maybe just did theater and not musical theater, I would prefer the musical theater person over that. So I do think the hosting is great. I love the jokes. I think we're going to be in for a good show. I mean, just truly. So I know there was a lot of controversy over the postcards. I like them. The only thing is they've added in like the glam bot at the end, which feels like an add-on. It feels very separate to the rest of the postcards. So like, I don't know if I love the glam bot of it all, but I actually like the selfie postcards. Some people might not like them, but I think that they're fine. And I like kind of going down memory lane with the past performances. So I was cool with that. The next thing. Okay. So so someone asked, ESC George says, Alesia, how was the weather today? It rained. It was not great weather today. So yeah. And then Dino asked, what's a glam bot? Well, you're going to find out when you watch the show tomorrow and you see the end of it. Eurovision fan, Alesia Michelle, I really want to know how it was decided what older songs to be featured on the postcards. I feel like they probably asked the delegations, right? Like they probably asked them. But it does seem like there's a little mix of like, okay, let's do like an older one and then something that feels a little bit more modern. And it does also seem perhaps like they are trying to pull out some of the best results or better results. I noticed that, but I can't really track the pattern. I like the postcards though. Sometimes we just want to complain about anything and I don't think we have to worry about doing that. All right, so let's break down the bread and butter. Okay, the bread and butter of this. We're just going to go in order. I'm going to just start off with Cypress. Cypress, you won me over. Celia looks good. She sounds good. I think I had Cypress qualifying. I might have even moved them over, but I'm still going by my lock predictions, aka my pre-watching rehearsals, watching like 30-second clip things. I locked it in, and so I'm going to stick with that one. But I had Cypress qualifying, and I mean, it's just good. It feels young. It feels fresh. It feels modern. And again, Celia is singing and dancing. Now, I have seen some comments online with people just talking about, the heavy use of the backing vocals. And I've been long here in these streets when it comes to those baked in backing vocals. I don't want them anymore. We're not living in a COVID world. I just think that I think there's something about Eurovision that gets to be kept pure when we get all live vocals. But with that said, even with the bits that she isn't having backing track on it, she's on the pitch and key. She sounds great. And now what I need to have happen is Celia, and I will take this advice to myself, but I don't have to sing, so it's fine. But I need Celia to not talk to anyone else because I want her to have that wonderful vocal on the stage tomorrow. Antonio says it looks like we're getting Cyprus, Poland, and Luxembourg. We'll get down to the other things. Yeah. So yeah. Frederick, is there no impact of Celia coming after Eleni and Chanel? No, she is great. Valentino's Celia Caps is slayed tonight. No, she is great. She looks like she belongs on the stage. She looks like a seasoned professional. And I get nervous about my young performers. I am no longer nervous about her. I'm just not. Petar says Cyprus was so good. I didn't expect it. It looks good. It looks really, really, really good. So yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about Serbia. Now, in the earlier run tonight, I got nervous for Serbia because I will tell you, Serbia being placed second, it is sonically not great. It feels like such a shift. And I think we would have been better off actually having Poland come second because it's a little bit more mid-tempo. And I think we're just going from something so high energy, high impact to then like all the way down. And I just don't think it does Serbia any favors at all. Not to mention then we have Lithuania. I mean, even Lithuania, I think would have been better second than Serbia. Like even if we just flip those and then Serbia kind of calming us down so that we can be brought back up by Ireland, I think would have been more optimal. I noticed it. The vocal was better in this nighttime performance. So I think she was just maybe preserving her vocal in the first run. But all in all, I will say, well, let me see what y'all think. Rich, we need a female ballad in the final, and I think Serbia is our only chance. It's not. Portugal is qualifying easily. Portugal isn't. Portugal isn't. I've always, now, Philippe, I have been saying from jump that I thought we could get both Serbia and Portugal. I really, really did. I was like, I think that they're different enough and kind of hit different aspects of a ballad. So, yeah. Unsolicited opinion says, starting to get worried for Serbia. And here's the thing. The only reason why I would get worried about it is really and we knew this, the running order is not optimal. It's coming so early in the show. But I do feel like once we get to the climax of it, it really is shot well. And, you know, as long as Theodore's vocal is on, it's making it. But if Theodore's vocal is in any way not perfection, then we will lose it. And that's not so much because that's just really speaking to the competition that we have this year. It's just really, really tight. And yeah, that's the only thing. But maybe we do get it, so we'll move on. Okay. What else do we have? Jamie, how are the camera angles for Serbia? It's fine. It's fine. Would I have done maybe some more close-ups? Yeah, but I think it looks good. Ultimately, with bodies in the arena, it reads so much better than it did at that earlier dress rehearsal that we had. Having the bodies in the arena, they even have some moments where it's like, you know, it's almost like the lighters moment, and it's good. So I'm not as worried for Serbia, but I do still have a little bit, mostly because of the running order. I do still have a little bit of like, oh, what if it doesn't make it? So we'll see. Next up, let's talk about Lithuania. And honestly, I don't even know if we have to say that much about Lithuania. Maybe we don't. Hold on. Some folks want to ask, so simple things. I love the wristbands. We're talking about Serbia. Serbia is a moment. Yeah, but let's move on to Lithuania. Lithuania is good. It looks good. It sounds good. It's a party. It's qualifying with ease. But this is also one of the things that I think makes me nervous for Serbia, because it's just like, oh crap, I really do think Cyprus is a lock at this point and Lithuania is a lock. And I'm like, okay, we're probably going to have to lose someone from the first half. And it's just not looking, I mean, if we're realistic, but also this could be an anomaly year. I am definitely here for us mixing things up, getting hopeful and doing stuff like that. So let me see. Felix, I imagine Lithuania hits even harder with the crowd. Oh, yeah, definitely. House of Nando, Lithuania is giving Swedish perfection. David, Lithuania just feels so locked on as a high quality, maybe like fourth. Eurovision fam says one word for Lithuania, sleek. And Sarah's son, Lithuania is going through. Yes, it is. It's going through with ease. Let's move on to Ireland. My standout winner for tonight. I have been preaching at the altar of camera angles are free for I don't even know how many years. And it's like, it's like something about the performance that just makes me feel seen as a camera angle, you know, aficionado and maybe snob. I'm okay with maybe being a camera angle snob. This is so good. This is so good. It is not only qualifying with ease, like Ireland top 10 finish. Ireland top 10 finish. Can we manifest? Can we make it happen? And it's funny because Lucy, who is from Wee Wee Blogs, had done like a Twitter chat, like, and I think this was like the end of summer or maybe it was like early fall. And it was like, well, who would you want to see? So it was like, obviously we had no songs, nothing rumored. We had no clue. And I think I either said Iceland or Ireland. And I think I've even told y'all, I'm like, I really would love Ireland to win again, because I think Sweden does Eurovision best when, they feel like they have to, come up and best someone. And I was like, I just think it was good, that Ireland was a little bit like a leg ahead of them, so then Sweden would keep kind of going for it. But Ireland is just so effective. It's so good. And I really do think some juries are going to vote for this. Oh my, but maybe I'm being delusional. Maybe I'm getting my hopes up because it was just like, wow. And we do have that sometimes where it's like, we'll see the rehearsals, and then all of a sudden, like rehearsal week, everyone's like, oh, this is really good. I think perfect examples like 2019, I remember Azerbaijan had kind of like a last push where everyone's like, oh, it looks so good. And then, and then it didn't do much. I think 2019, France, I remember some people being like winner potential, but there's something about this. I don't feel crazy in saying it. It's so effective. It's so effective. And people that I thought would kind of maybe be turned off by it because it is wild, don't seem to be getting turned off it. Frederick says, everyone is obsessed with the spectacle that Ireland is putting on, but will Bambi stand the test of folks voting from home that may be more on the conservative side? I think so. Liza, Ireland's in contention to win the semi with Croatia and Ukraine. I agree, because I've been telling y'all long in these streets that I was like, I know where I'm voting. And actually, when I wake up tomorrow morning, I plan on voting rest of the world. I think, or maybe since I'm in Denmark, will it not work? I think it will still work because I have to pay. So when I put my card info, it's going to make it seem like I'm American anyway. So I think I'll be able to vote. So yeah. Okay. Dublin 2025. I mean, I'd be here for it. I would be here for it. Raul says, I think Cyprus is out. It was really good. It was really, really good. I don't think Cyprus is out. I think Cyprus is in. Okay. Gospel and Alesia, hypothetically speaking, if Ireland pulls a shock win, what would this year be? Anomaly or reset? Anomaly. It would be an anomaly year. And I think when I first was talking about this, I was like, really, I felt like the stage was set for an anomaly year. Switzerland, I think, would be a reset. Croatia would be, I think, a reset. I think anomaly year, though, would be obviously like an Irish win. But we can see. And yeah, Eurovision Bam says rest of the world voting is open now. Yeah, but it's late. So after I do this, I'm going to bed. Okay, because once I go to bed, I'll get my voice back. So yeah, Ireland, I'm fully on the Bambi, but I've been on the Bambi train. I have, and I had faith, and this is fulfilled. My hope was fulfilled. So I'm there. Yeah. All right. So let's move on. After Ireland, we have a break, and then it goes into the UK. I'm loving it. It's funny because every year, we get those delegations that are just like, oh, never before seen on the Eurovision stage. Oh, we're doing innovations, blah, blah, blah. The UK is actually doing that. This visually is amazing. And if Ollie is able to just vocally match the studio cut, because this is the one thing Ollie's doing that I'm almost kind of like, I think people are giving Ollie a little bit of a hard time because Ollie's basically doing some different runs and stuff like that. I think most of the runs are actually hitting. But like on a level at Eurovision, if you want to win, I just think Ollie needs to just focus on recreating that studio cut. Because if Ollie just focuses on recreating that studio cut, I do think Ollie could be in for a top 3 jury finish, getting more points than your boy Slama from France. Because we have to remember, juries will vote. Like one of the categories is like innovative staging. There is no way that you're not putting this like top-notch innovative staging. It looks incredible. Rich, who has a better shot of a shock win, Ireland or the UK? The UK. Ireland, I think, has a better chance of a shock win. Steven, UK staging looks so good. Petar, UK is a whole experience. It's just Pablo says, I agree. UK can even win the jury, in my humble opinion. I could see it. but that vocal would have to be executed to perfection. And I just think sometimes when you mix it up with the runs, it's just like, well, if you don't have to do, you can hit or miss. And if you don't have to do it, why? There's enough going on the stage. We don't need too much. And most of the song sounded vocally good at this last rehearsal. At the end, there was a questionable note, but it sort of faded out anyway. So I don't know if it's even that bad. Okay. Beyonce says, would it be an anomaly year if France pulls a shock win? No, France would be a reset year. Because the thing is, if it's France, like, then it's happening in France. Like, there's something about it that just feels like, we're on the Eurovision road. But for Ireland to win, it would still be an anomaly because of the fact that they've just been in the gutter. Not my fault, y'all's fault. Y'all don't pick up the phone and vote for them, even when they deserve it. In the name of Brooke. Okay, that's rich. Let's move on. Ukraine. I will say the UK going into Ukraine, again, another like very hard left. I don't know. It does not play well, this transition. They're just so diametrically opposed, and even sonically, it's kind of like, oh, okay. And then we get into Jerry. One of the things that they're doing it's great. Y'all know I love the song. We still need to be checking for Ukraine, finishing top 10. But one thing it's a choice. I think it works, but I probably would have done it differently. They're sort of doing it like two separate performances. It's like there's Jerry, and the lighting is different. The color story is different. And then we transition to Alona. And then they sort of come together at the end. But I think I would have preferred it just being intentionally weaved from the beginning, because it's intentionally disjointed now. And I think it would almost be better if we just were kind of having them collected. But like I said, it's not bad. This is me being picky. And ultimately, it sounds good. It looks good. This is Ukraine. They know how to do Eurovision. Okay. Let's see what y'all are talking about. Sarah Sun, Ukraine is a hard entry to place. It won't be hard to place. It'll be finishing top 5, right? That is the place that it will be. Dan, the movement of tempo and the running order is so erratic this year. Honestly, even Ukraine, you could have put second. Well, yeah, actually, I think Ukraine would have been it would have been a better transition from Cilia to that one than Serbia. It's like y'all really went out of your way to put Serbia second to me. Okay, and Patrick, in terms of lighting, Ukraine feels like a palate cleanse at being after Serbia, Lithuania, Ireland, and the UK. Well, no, but I could have swapped them. We could have had Lithuania second, because it was going to make it anyway, and it really does fit like Cyprus. We could have dropped Serbia down. Really, we could have had Poland a little bit higher up. Poland actually might not be awful in this. Okay. And then up next. Okay. Where else do I want to go? Okay. We're going to move on. Oh, wait, hold on. Petar. No juries makes the semi results so much harder to predict. That is like one thing I've always said, like the televote is a little bit harder to predict. I actually think juries is kind of easy to see where they're going to go. There's patterns and trends and stuff. But with the televote, it's all about the mood of Europe. And, the mood of Europe might be speaking to Ireland. I don't know. Let's see. So let's move on. We talked about Ukraine. Let's move on to Poland. There are some great visuals in here. And I will say this run this evening was better, and Luna sounded good. I think at the earlier run, I was like, Luna sounded okay. Like, not bad, not amazing, but like, okay. Like, I wasn't really hearing bum notes, but there were some things that maybe it was like, oh, stay on the pacing. Because this is the thing, Poland has made the mistake of giving our performer a little bit too much to do on stage. And I think by giving her a little bit too much to do on stage, you can run into like a Roxanne situation where it's like, I'm trying to sing, but you got me popping and you got me standing over here, and then I have to run over here. There's just a lot happening on stage, and I just don't think they had to do any of it. And I'll be candid with you. There are some choices that were made here where the staging does look a little bit sloppy in places. So we have all of these costume changes with Poland's entry. Y'all, when they're ripping the clothes off, we see most of the times when they're doing the costume change, which, I always say, like, the trick of the stage is you want to keep the magic. And I feel like we're kind of giving the magic away when we see it. But here's the issue. We also hear it. Y'all, we hear the Velcro when they're doing the costume change. We hear the Velcro. My Lord. I mean, like, come on. Steven, Poland doing too much. Emma, Poland's song is very radio friendly and Luna is adorable, but the staging is not good. David Perdue, poor Luna stuck doing a Leslie Roy all over the stage. Alexander, Poland will be the 10th qualifier. It could be. Look, I don't know. Oh, what is some other one? Petar, Poland is a perfect example of a circus. Felix, there is this saying, before you go outside, take one accessory off. Poland should have done that. Yeah. Philip, does Poland just have a large supply of kitchen sink? Who makes their staging? Well, the person who apparently did the staging was also responsible for the trumpets that James Newman had, and he decided, oh, you didn't like my trumpets? I'm going to give you 2 chess pieces that also look like kind of castle like pieces. They kind of look like a tower. I don't know, y'all. I'm going to be real with y'all. Like, and y'all know I like the song. So, I listen to the song. I might have a hard time watching this advance and losing somehow. I might have a hard time with that one. Because it's really doing way too much. House of Nando, it's not too much staging. It's just not thoughtful. No. Surely it is not thoughtful. But it is, no. It is too much staging. It is way too much stuff. I mean, she is moving around on stage in a way with which she just doesn't have to. Like, we didn't need all that. Like, the song is good. So yeah, and then Bobby D says this is sadly taking either Portugal, Serbia, or Slovenia's spot. Well, let's keep on moving because it definitely ain't taking Portugal's spot. But we'll get there. Let's talk about Croatia. Let's just do this. So Croatia, great. There's this thing that happens at Eurovision, and I think you particularly see it in some of, I'd say, the early 2000s, late 90s entries, where there's this moment where you kind of see the performer take the stage, and it's just like they're winning it. This kind of has a little bit of that energy. There's something about it, and I will say, if I'm being picky, we're seeing all of this really inventive staging and camera work, and Croatia's really not giving us any of that. But I think in its simplicity, it actually still is effective. Would I have done some more creative camera work if I was on the staging team? Yeah, just to really cement the win. But there was nothing happening on the stage that made me feel like this is not going to win. Like, there's something about it that is rousing, bombastic, and particularly with an audience in the room. I mean, it really comes to life. It's good. Pasta sauce Marco is so adorable. He has to win. Vigs, hope Croatia win because they have never won before. I mean, I love that. I would say if there is any bias I have, it is to a country that hasn't won in forever or ever. So a country that hasn't won in forever or ever is my bias. And I say that. So if I'm breaking it down where we've got a year like this where it's so much quality and I've got to whittle down, I'm going to give maybe 2 points extra to the country that hasn't won in forever or ever. Oh yeah, forever or ever. David, I can see Croatia ticking the rock box and the fun box. There's a lot of televotes there. Yeah, I mean, again, if I'm being picky, I could have had more inventive camera work, but it's not hurting the entry at all. So if people were waiting to watch this just to be oh, it'll fall apart, don't listen to any of the people who say this doesn't have the potential to win. It just does. There's a spirit about the performance. It was really good. Iceland, Hedda Björk is so professional. there's something really adult about the performance in a way that I'm like, and I remember when I reacted to it, I was like, honestly, I have no notes. Like, it's all well executed. I do think the staging at Song Bekemnem was better. I don't know. There's something about this. And there's this one point in it where she is walking down some steps and she has to like do it by herself. I don't like that. I'm going to need somebody to come up out the back and hold her hand while she walks down those steps, because I'm not here for her to falling down the steps, because I am scared of heights and I'm always scared of steps on a stage when a performer has to walk down them. It's just scary. It's scary, scary stuff. Here's the thing. I think Iceland is still probably just being sandwiched between Croatia. And even though there is a break after, then we got Germany. I don't know. But it is executed overall well. And I mean, obviously she sounds great. There is a world where I'm like, is this going to be our uplifting thing that makes it? Probably not, because we've got enough uplifting, I think, from Croatia kind of giving us hope and a light, that I think we got that. Then next up, we had Germany. I think because of my love for Rick, there maybe has been this idea that like I don't like Germany's song. I mean, I have the tweet as proof. I was like, this is good. Isaac just needed staging, and they've given him staging. Now, I will say one of the things that's killing the performance a little bit, and all of this talk about, Germany doing so well with juries, I'm like, I don't know, is they've got that lazy BBC, like slow pan camera work happening. And this song actually has energy to it, and Isaac is selling it. And I prefer the staging, but the camera work just isn't doing it favors. This is me being picky, of course, but it's not doing it favors. House of Nando, will Germany get last again? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I really hope Germany don't get last again. That vocal is vocaling. I mean, Isaac is really a vocalist. He sounds great. And he's able to sing and emote. He gives like that emotive presence. Liza, I still don't think Germany's making it out of the bottom 5. The camera work I've seen so far isn't helping him out. Exactly. And I will tell you, I could still see this coming bottom 5. I think that we could have done better camera work, and that would have injected a little bit of energy. Because I will say there came a time, and I mean, let me just say this in general. Y'all, the second half of the show does drag. I mean, with this assortment of songs, it really starts to feel like, okay, who's next? Like, who's coming up? And so I think Germany, actually, as rousing as the song is, if they had just done some better camera work, I think, I think we would have been, this could have been a moment to like wake us back up a little bit. And sadly, I just don't think it is. Okay. And then next up, I've got Slovenia. Okay. I'm just going to tell you, in this last dress rehearsal, like run, I felt better about it. But I also have to note my bias, that Slovenia really is giving me all the things that I like. I love Popra. Raven sounds amazing. So it's kind of like, okay, am I feeling better about it because I saw it and I just am like, oh, I like this stuff? Or am I feeling better about it because truly in this makeup of songs, it ends up standing out? Because like for me, it would always stand out because this is just kind of the stuff that I like. So I mean, sadly, am I still worried for Slovenia? I think we have to be, and I'll tell you why. So pick up the phone and call. That's your thing. We do need more smoke on the floor. Ultimately, this performance is very bright, and I think what makes it more effective is sort of that dark mysticism. Come pull me in. There's a world where Slovenia could have outshined Bambi. You know what I mean? Like there is a world where people could have gone, oh, I'm picking this witch, instead of the one from Ireland. That's not happening. But there's also a world where we could get both. We could have gotten both of them. And honestly, I think for Slovenia, the challenge is, I think Poland could be taking their spot. I don't know. Poland could be taking their spot. Let's see. Dan, all my votes are going to Slovenia from the UK. Danny's life vlogs. As quiet as is kept, we are either getting Serbia or Slovenia, only one. That's possible. That's possible. I think I started living in that world where I'm like, oh, maybe this is the thing. And I also noted that I was like, maybe also the comparison, I broke this down in my semifinal predictions, perhaps really it's Portugal and Slovenia that are duking it out a little bit more, perhaps. But here's the challenge. Well, not the challenge, but the benefit for Portugal, and we'll get down to Portugal when we need to talk about it. But the juries are going to eat up Portugal in the final because Portugal's making it. Okay, anyway, let's move it on. But ultimately with Slovenia, I really wish we had more dry ice on the, like, I want to be pulled in more. But again, there's still some really good visuals that are happening. So I don't know, but I'm still worried for Slovenia. Lana, do you think there's a solid chance of Slovenia making it? No, I'm worried for Slovenia. People should call. Kokika? Serbia have Slovenia and Croatia, Portugal and Ireland. Love that kind of song. Big diaspora in Germany and Sweden and Australia. I think Serbia will be a qualifier. Well, I think we're putting Serbia as a qualifier. I think we are. It read better with when I was reacting earlier. It was empty, and also Teodoro wasn't singing half the song. Or the bits that were sung were kind of lazily done. So, but tonight it was like, okay, no, we're sounding good. And then just with the arena filled, it was like, okay, no, this looks pretty. Okay, let's and then Campfire. Let's just say it. Get my gal Raven some fog stat. It did seem like there was more fog in that 30-second clip than what it was in the 30-second clip. Like, so it seemed like maybe they did turn the machines up a little bit higher. But the challenge is, they don't want to have the stage all smoky and everything. But let's move on to Finland. They copy and pasted it. But I will say I actually found myself laughing more today to the performance. But y'all know I don't need this to advance, but I'm kind of like, yeah, like in this run of songs, Finland actually kind of feels welcome because it is fun. And after that early stretch, like we kind of need something fun again just to lift us back up. And I do think Finland is doing that. But I'm gonna be real with y'all. I was watching with my boyfriend and he did not like it. And I thought, because when we talk about locals, it's like, oh, the people come to Eurovision and, they want to watch it and it's like funny. And he was like, no, but like, I don't really find it funny. And one of the things that he said that actually stood out to me, he was kind of like, he was like, I like the guy who's singing, is there something wrong? He was like, he actually has like a nice voice. He's like, but, you got this dude. He's like, it's just kind of weird because, like, there's some people really up here, like, taking it seriously and you're running around in a fog on stage. But like I said, I laughed a little bit more. I laughed a little bit more at this time than I did in the national selection. Like, I don't know. I feel like they maybe added in more jokes. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Finland, I think, it's fine. I think it is still qualifying. But I don't know. Maybe some locals at home are like, they don't get it. I don't know. We will see. Felix, yes, Henry the singer is saving Finland's performance. I mean, like, he's good. I think I was saying that before. I was like, this is like a falsetto. Like, this is not necessarily like just a straight up joke song. Like, I mean, there is some merit there. And so I've always said that. But yeah. Coraline says, yeah, my boyfriend didn't like it either. It felt too much for him. And then, and Bobby D says, when I've shown this to my friends, all of them love it. So we'll see what locals, I guess, we get tuning in. The ones who are like, or the ones who are like, no, it's Eurovision. It's fun. Let's have a party. Finland's going to make it. And I actually am living in a world where I kind of don't mind Finland making it because at least it's being executed well. All right, let's move on. Moldova. It sounds great. Natalia's voice is so rich and It's so good. Like, she's really good, but she looks so lonely on that stage all by herself. Interestingly enough, though, it seemed like the crowd was feeling her, though. But I'm going to be real with y'all. This is not making it. This is not making it. And it's mostly not making it because I think we needed the clones. We probably didn't have it in the budget, but I think we needed the clones. And then we go into Sweden's performance. Copy and paste perfection. We don't have to talk about Sweden that much. It's good. It's good. I don't think we have to say anything. Let's talk about Azerbaijan. Well, I would say my boyfriend he thought that performance was kind of boring. So he wasn't really gravitating towards that one. I like it. Here's my thing with Azerbaijan. I almost wish they would have just gone the traditional route because the futuristic staging, like, I get the concept behind it and the idea that they're trying to sort of merge, like, you know, traditional with like new elements. But ultimately, I feel like the song reads very modern and it's giving me flashbacks of Azerbaijan 2019. And ultimately, it's because someone's like, why is Azerbaijan underrated? I just think people are not checking for Azerbaijan this year, but I kind of get why. I kind of understand why they're not checking for it, because I do think that there's something about the song that it maybe needed like one more element of modernity to the production of it. I mean, I like it though. I told y'all when I was like listening to it, I was like, oh crap, I actually like this song. You know, because that was in the time period where it was like, okay, like, can Azerbaijan maybe not give us something competitive? So, because this, like, Semi was just feeling so stacked at the time, and it was just like, oh no, kind of another good one. Let's see. Emily F, I really like Azerbaijan, but not enough to vote for it. Okay. Eurovision fam, the traditional section of the song is the part that stands out the most. I do agree with that. Coraline, I agree the showcase aesthetic was nice. Gospel, Azerbaijan announces everything so late, we all just gave up. Wait, you know what though? Maybe we should have gotten it earlier. Maybe that would have helped. A House of Nanda, Azerbaijan just isn't ethnic or impactful enough from the get-go. I mean, it sounds good. And I mean, not a bum note in sight. And the staging looked cool, but I do wonder if a different package would have really helped to like propel this forward. This is the thing. It's not coming last in the semi. If it doesn't make it, it's like kind of like that, what do you call it? Like 12th position. It might end up being that. All right, let's move on to Australia. Y'all, I don't know. It plays better with the audience. It definitely plays better with the crowd. And I will say my boyfriend liked it. He was like, and I think that there is an element of people coming to Eurovision and they want to see something cultural. And I did see a tweet where someone was like, oh, people will like Azerbaijan's cultural elements more than Australia. I don't think I agree. I actually think what Australia is showcasing is really palpable. Not to mention, remember, you know, we're getting a message song and some people are just suckers for message songs. But whoever did the staging for that, for them this year, what was the concept? I'm going to need a video. I'm going to need a video for you to tell us like kind of what you were going for, because it's like, I don't know what the narrative is with the visual. And this is the crazy thing. There are some good ideas in there. Like the way that we start off is beautiful. And I think we could have played in that a little bit longer. It's like Zachariah lit with like sort of a rainbow prism light, looking as if like, you know, floating in space and sounding good. I mean, it starts off so well. And then we just start doing things with the staging that are just not effective. Michelle says Australia's staging just isn't matching what I would have wanted for them. It's missing a story. Yeah. House of Nanda, what was the mood board for that staging? Yeah. And then Petar, Australia needs to do more for the televote only semi though. Yeah. Alistair says it's Australia's New Year's Eve celebration. That's the concept. As an Aussie, I can confirm. No, we couldn't just have a celebration. We needed a story. You know, music is storytelling, and I think we needed a little bit more deep of a concept to justify some of the choices. you know, the presence of the backing vocalists at moments, it doesn't feel intentional enough. And, you know, at this point, it's almost like y'all could just stay back there a little bit. Because it almost might have just been better to have Zachariah and Michael sort of playing to the crowd. That might have been more effective for this song. Dino, Australia for real has no budget this year. No pre-parties, cheap music video, weak staging. I don't know. Gospel performing late and moment with a traditional instrument does not help Australia. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, I want to be hopeful for this. Y'all know that I do love this song, but it's just that staging package. I am a little bit like, I need to know what the intentionality behind it was, because as of now, there's elements of it that don't feel intentional. And we need more of that. Moving on, Portugal. It's beautiful. It's qualifying with ease, y'all. Ease. You know, I think the thing that's really notable about Yolanda was it's not like she's been that long in the game as, like, you know, sort of a signed artist. And she is selling this performance with a grace. There is something about Portugal's entry that almost gives you, like I say this sometimes, like it almost gives like interval act vibes. You know, where you're watching it, it just feels so slick and so well executed and visually so arresting that it's almost like this is competing with the rest of these folks. It's so good. Portugal is qualifying with ease. And y'all know I was nervous. I am not nervous at all. Portugal is making it. It's making it. ESC Cyprus, Portugal is the real dark horse. Robin, the rest of the world vote for Portugal will be strong. Dan, I wasn't worried for Portugal since I found out she's second to last in the running. I mean, that was like the one thing we did know. This was very optimal running order position for Portugal. But like I said, my only fear of the running order was this second half does drag a little bit. You know, we've got so much bombast and quality in that first half that when we roll around to the second half, it does feel like it. And so I just thought, oh, are people going to be so tired that then they're going to be like a ballad? But no, it's almost like, oh, thank God. Like when it comes out, because it just is giving so much polish. Next up, Luxembourg. I know, like, I think I've been long in the streets saying, like, Luxembourg's qualifying, like, it's going to do fine. Part of why I'm coming from that is Tali can sing. Tali can sing. And Tali is delivering this so well. So well. I still don't like the braids. I still think we could have had her playing with more color. But ultimately, visually, it looks good. It looks really professional. Let me hop into some of these contests. Faza, I'd be fine if Luxembourg non-qualifies. Well, it is. Catarina Guerra, Portugal has a lot of diaspora in Luxembourg. Rich, first half chat. Oh, OMG, amazing second half chat. Remember the first half? Like, it's a little bit that. M says not the most challenging song though. Well, it isn't, but there's moments in here. I mean, it's well constructed for Eurovision. There's vocal moments in here, and I do think she does shine. Petar, Luxembourg staging is so good, but interview in the middle of the voting was so obvious. Interview in the middle of the voting was so... Oh, I stepped away for a while. Mom, you were in the arena. You want to come over here and tell people what was your standouts tonight? Just tell me what your stand. Oh, you don't know? You can't even decide?
No, Croatia was still good.
Okay, my mom said Croatia was still good. Any other favorites?
Yeah, I like Moldova. Right.
Moldova? Oh, mom liked Moldova. Okay.
And Preston liked Ireland.
Preston liked Ireland. My stepdad liked Ireland. And then, who do you think got the biggest cheer, like in the audience? Like who are people loud for? The guy with the medal on his... Oh, so Sylvester. Okay. Okay, I don't know if you can... Okay, Luke Tell. My mom likes Luke Tell. My mom really likes Sylvester. But yeah, let me hop back more into some Luxembourg. Danny's life vlogs. The thing about Luxembourg is I know they're in, but could they possibly struggle in televote as a microstate? I mean, I think that's real, but like, I think they're in. I think they're in. Yeah. Oh, wait. TJ Tuck, the fireworks and fire really added to Luxembourg. RTL put the budget in for sure. Like, I'll just be honest. Like, Luxembourg's performance looks really slick. It really does. Again, if I'm being picky, well, maybe not even being picky. I'll just say this. I really wish they would have played with more color. I just think this song is just oozing color story, and we're really getting a little bit more muted. The color scheme is there. Oh, but we could have just done so much more to make it feel like summer. And I'm a little bit like, dang. Jamie, I'm torn between not needing Luxembourg in the final, but wanting to reward them for coming back. Yeah. I mean, we want more countries competing at Eurovision. Mom, were there any acts that you straight up were like you didn't like? That you were like, oh, visually, you're like, oh, like what happened here?
No.
Okay. She said no. Okay. Joey, is it worth trying to save Australia with my votes or just let it go? I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm still voting for Australia. I'm still gonna vote for Australia. I said I was gonna do it. I'm still gonna vote for it because vocally it still was there for me, and it is still something that I feel like I'd like to see advance. So I don't know though. It's so tricky because if I lose Australia, then there's a world where I feel like then I'm definitely getting Slovenia. That's kind of like where I'm at. Like if I lose Australia, then I definitely get Slovenia, and like I can't really be mad about that, I can't really be mad about that. All right. Okay, and then I've got a few minutes. Let's just close this out with some Q&A. If you have specific questions, of course, I have press access. I was in the press center earlier today watching the performances. Then I came back home to try and watch it on the stream, which I will say, EBU, y'all, I know that this stuff is really tricky, and I know it costs a lot for like internet and like these servers and stuff. But how can we comment on things if the stream is going like so much of the first half? Like basically I missed not all, because I'd already saw Celia perform in the dress rehearsal, but I missed like the whole like last 2 minutes of Cyprus. Come on now, y'all. Okay. House of Nando, are we crowning the witch? Easily qualifying, and I am now living in a world where I'm like, Bambi Thug top 5? Top 5? I think juries are going to reward it. I'm not going to lie. And can I say, like, what if we're living in a world where Ireland wins the televote? Because I could see it. We got to get to semifinal too, though, but I could see it. Antonio Reyes, I already voted Slovenia and let Australia go. Stefan, when we watch Moldova's national final, I told you it's going to be a non-qualifier, and you said it might qualify. What's your opinion? It's not making it. I don't think it's making it. But the vocal is so good. Did Ireland have issues during the jury show? Remember, we don't have a jury show, but dress rehearsal. Not that I saw that performance. I actually did get that. Do you have online press or on-site? I'm here in Europe. Felix, can you give your estimated 10 qualifiers post-dress rehearsal? Yeah, let's do that real quick. So let's see if I can do this. And I'm going to write it down so I can keep track. I think I said Cyprus was making it before, so I'm going to say Cyprus is making it. Let's just say Serbia does make it. Let's say we're getting Lithuania. We're getting Ireland. We're definitely getting Ukraine. I'm going to hold on Poland. Let me just see, because I think we're going to get it, but let's see where we're at. I don't know. 5. So then let's say Croatia's making it. Let's do 7 because the 7, Finland is making it. I think Finland is a safe qualifier. And then in this, let's say Portugal is qualifying for sure. So then 9, we're left with Luxembourg. And so then I've got 1 spot. So I'm saying Cyprus, Serbia, Lithuania, Ireland. Then 5th position, Ukraine. And so then what if we do say we're getting, huh? Oh, my mom said Finland was a hot mess. Okay. And then, so let's say so then if we get Poland, so if we get Poland, and then Slovenia's out. So if I'm doing this, like, what if I did Cyprus, Serbia, Lithuania, Ireland, Ukraine, Poland, Croatia, Finland, Portugal, Luxembourg. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, I mean, and I think I said this before, I would need Poland to really clean up. Like, some of that stuff it just looked messy, and I'm really upset that they just gave Luna all of that to do. It's just like, she did not need to be up there doing all of that. And so I would really be sad to see Slovenia go. And Australia, I don't know. I'm worried for Australia. But I'm going to give my points the way I give my points. Okay. Hold on. Why you don't like Serbia? Sophia, are you new to the chat? Are you new to the chat? You must be new to the chat. Everybody knows I like that song. I will say, though, I'm nervous for Serbia. And that's why I will say, what if we lost Serbia just based off the fact that it comes so early and people aren't here for it, but then maybe we get Slovenia just because Slovenia's second half. I think right now I'm sort of in a exchange spot with Serbia and Slovenia, which I didn't necessarily expect to be. I thought I was going to be in an exchange spot between Slovenia and Portugal, but it's not looking like that. Right. And now Renato says, I'll vote for Croatia from Portugal. Black Bean Paste, I truly want Croatia to win simply because we don't know when we'll get such a great song from them again, if ever. I mean, there's several reasons for Croatia, but Croatia's qualifying. So I'm living in a world where I'm like, I'm going to channel my energy in the final for Croatia. But right now in the semifinal, I need to channel my energy for those on the cusp that I want to tip over the edge. Stefan, when we watch Moldova's, oh wait, this is again, I'm like, where are the new comments? Oh wait, I'm missing something. Okay. Oscar, thoughts on Poland? I've talked ad nauseum about Poland. I mean, I think as of now, it's, and thank you. I think Poland will make it, but well, there's good visuals in the staging, but again, it's just too much. There's these really great elements, but I think Poland works best when you are able to pause it. It's not working completely in motion. ESC George, Poland is making it for me because it's memorable. Alioth, Poland is bad. Stop trying to make it happen. Well, but it might just happen. You know what I mean? Petar, Serbia is really forgettable in between Cyprus and Lithuania. And after all of that, strong first half. Ruslan, please give me more info about Azerbaijan. What is exactly happening with them? What's happening with them is they're just doing very futuristic staging, and I think it would be better off if they went a more traditional route. Drag Race says, I see Iceland qualifying. It's hard this year. Like, there are other years that I was like, no, I could see something anthemic like this making it. I'm not living in that world as of now. Stefan, is Luxembourg a safe qualifier? I think so. It's really executed. Super well, super slick. The Floon, I'd be so much more down for Luxembourg if she would just ditch the braids. I mean, honestly, I'm like, girl, we can't just do a blowout. Or if we want to do something striking, I'm like, do a high pony with a really, like, give me the weave with a really thick weave, so then when you're moving on stage, we're seeing the hair whipping back and forth, because she's not even moving that much, so the hair could add an element of movement. Missed opportunity. I wanted a high pony with a thick weave. That's what I want. Z, is there any change in the qualifier announcement this year? No, but I do love the way that they have the green room sort of behind the stage. It looks really, really good. It looks really, really good. And it's kind of like a cool moment where it sort of like opens up and you see all the qualifiers there. Well, you know, see all the contestants and participants there. It just looks really, really good. And, oh, wait, Beyonce Cardinals, do you think we can get both witches into the final, leaving Serbia out? I think I did lay this out that it's like, it could. Enter the Attic, do you think Greece has any chance of winning? I can't say. So one, thank you, Enter the Attic. We only saw semifinal one. I really need to see like Marina in full. But can I just tell you, if you have not checked out like my turquoise carpet, I got to interview Marina, ask her a couple of questions. And like she is so warm. Like the energy was like, oh my God. Like, can we please be best friends? Like in my mind, I already thought, but you know, sometimes it's like, don't meet your idols. She is so lovely. Like, and there was just an energy about her that was just like, hello. And her voice was like a warm blanket. I just want her to hug me and sing sweet Greek lullabies in my ear. She's amazing. She is amazing. Joseph, what could be a shock non-qualifier? Well, Serbia not qualifying would be shocking. Yeah, Serbia not qualifying would be shocking. But I do think really just because of the running order, I think we have to just consider it. So I say that, if you love it, we gotta pick up the phone and call for it. And I was feeling so safe about Serbia, but it's not in an optimal position running order wise at all. But again, like I said, I don't think it does any favors like around it. Shock non-qualifier. Well, I would be sad to see Australia go. I really would. But maybe some people are here. And Rugged Rat, vote for Serbia, y'all. 02, love you. Love you. I mean, I really was feeling secure about it. And it was fine. Like, I'm telling you, when I watched the run of it now, it was fine. It looked really, really good. But it's the running order. And just, you know, we know at Eurovision, people tend to vote more for the second half. But like I said, that second half is dragging. So maybe this year we sort of change that because it's like the first half is just hitting. And so then maybe at the parties on the second half, people can just kind of, they'll just wake up. They'll wake up to watch Finland and laugh with each other about it. And they'll be all excited. And then they'll wake up for Portugal. And then they'll stay awake as they go into Luxembourg. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Because can we get my girl Raven more smoke? I want dry ice. I don't want to see any dancers' feet. But it's hard because they do stuff with the aerial cam down and then you sort of see the ground. So I'm like, I guess that's why we can't have all the smoke. But I think I'd prefer seeing just the smoke than I would the LED floor. I think it would be more effective. For that. So, boop, boop. Let's, oh, wait, here we go. Frederick says, Marina is amazing. She really, really is. MT, someone in the first half has to non-qualify. I know. I mean, I hate to say it. Like, I'd rather like go, oh no. I was going to say I'd rather let go of Cyprus just because the studio cut is not that great, but it's so well executed and Celia is really killing it that I'm like, nah, girl, you're in. Like, you're in. Like, and I'm like comfortable. And I would say in the recap, it really looks good because I think we were thinking too, it's like, oh, well, Celia seemed, no, she is on there like a pro on the stage. And y'all know I'm allowed to change my mind. Okay. And really, I was just worried because I'm like, is she ready for prime time? The girl is ready for prime time and like international fame. Australia, put her on. Like, put her on. She is so good. Moise says, I feel like Cyprus will get forgotten, especially with Luxembourg left. In many ways, Celia is almost kind of besting Tali, but they're kind of giving different versions of pop that I think it works. We can have both of those. if there was anyone that I felt like was a surefire qualifier that I would let go of, it would be Poland, just because, you know, I think the execution, they fumbled the bag a little bit on that one. And at first when I was looking at the pictures, I was like, oh, this is great. But emotion, it's like, oh no, like we didn't have to do all this. Well, that was my breakdown. If you watch this whole entire video, listen to it, this is your opportunity to like this video and to subscribe. I'm going to be back giving you so much more content. And I will tell you, I think I have like one ticket left to my Copenhagen event. And then the pub crawl is this Friday in Copenhagen. So if you're looking for something fun to do, if you're a solo traveler, you came for Eurovision, you're not going to see any of the shows, please consider coming out. You will have such a great time. The Sequins and Sips kickoff turquoise carpet event was so great. It happened in Fan Cafe. Sort of like, I felt like we got to like preview the space before other people were in it. Such a good time. And then tonight I had a dinner. It was so great to meet so many of you. I've got like bracelets and stuff now. I'm like rocking. Yeah, and y'all know I'm like a sentimental Cancer, so I'm gonna like save these. I'm gonna put them on my shelf when I'm back home. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you haven't already, please like this video, please subscribe. Well, let's see what's gonna happen tomorrow. And you know, you can watch with me. I will be streaming during the show, so of course we can watch together. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good evening.